Commander Jake Morrison stared at the strange signal on his screen. The USS Endeavour was 3 weeks into a deep space mission when the computers picked up something unusual. It wasn't like anything they had seen before. "Dr. Park, what do you make of this?" Jake called to his science officer. Lisa Park hurried over. She was one of the best codebreakers Earth had, but this signal made no sense. The patterns repeated every 30 seconds, like a broken record. "It's encrypted, sir, but there's something odd about it." Jake leaned back in his captain's chair. The Endeavour was humanity's newest deep space vessel. Their mission was simple: explore the outer system and look for signs of life. So far, they had found nothing but rocks and ice. "Can you break the code?" Jake asked. Lisa shook her head. "Not yet, but I'm picking up multiple transmissions. All the same message, all on repeat, like someone left their radio on." The bridge crew gathered around Lisa's station. Each transmission came from a different direction. That meant multiple sources, all sending the same message. "This is impossible," said Lieutenant Paul Wong from Navigation. "There's nothing out here, no planets, no asteroids big enough to hold a radio." Jake stood up and walked to the main screen. The stars looked the same as always: cold, distant, and empty. But somewhere out there, something was talking. Lisa finally cracked the first layer of encryption 3 hours later. Her face went pale as she read the message. "Sir, you need to see this," she said quietly. Jake read over her shoulder. The words were in perfect English. "Do not approach Sol 3. Do not engage. Maintain distance protocols. The sleepers must not wake." The bridge fell silent. Sol 3 was Earth. "Someone's watching us," Jake whispered. Lisa kept working on the signal. More text appeared on her screen. "There's more, sir. Much more. Technical data, coordinates, something that looks like a star chart." Jake studied the star chart. It showed the solar system, but with additions he had never seen. Markers around Jupiter, Saturn, and in the asteroid belt, all labeled with the same warning. "How long have these signals been broadcasting?" Jake asked. "Based on the wear patterns in the data, decades, maybe centuries," Lisa replied. The implications hit Jake like a punch to the gut. Earth wasn't alone. More than that, Earth was being watched, protected, hidden. "Find out everything you can about these transmissions," Jake ordered. "But keep it quiet. I don't want panic on the ship." Meanwhile, light years away, alarms rang throughout a massive space station. The station hung in the void, hidden in a nebula where human telescopes could not see it. Admiral Zara rushed to the command center. Her forearms moved quickly as she checked the readings. "What happened?" "The humans, Admiral," her aide Krell responded. "They found one of the warning beacons." Zara's 2 hearts sank. This was what they all feared. Humans were advancing too, fast. Their curious nature made them dangerous. "Which ship?" she asked. "The USS Endeavour. They're decoding the message as we speak." Zara looked at the hologram of Earth rotating slowly in the center of the room. Beautiful blue and green colors swirled across its surface. So peaceful. So innocent. So dangerous. "Contact the Council immediately," she ordered. "The silence directive has been compromised." The Galactic Council met in emergency session within hours. Representatives from thousands of species gathered in virtual space. Each species had watched Earth for generations, following the oldest law of the galaxy. Ambassador. Krell stood before the assembly. "The humans have found a warning beacon. They're decoding our messages." Murmurs ran through the crowd. Some species had been waiting for this day. Others dreaded it. "How is this possible?" demanded General Varix, a warrior from a militaristic species. "They should be decades away from deep space exploration." "Humans advance faster than any species we've recorded," Krell explained. "What takes others centuries, they achieve in decades." The council elder, an ancient being whose species had helped establish the silence directive, spoke with a voice like breaking stone. "We knew this day would come. The question is, what do we do now?" "Maintain the directive," urged Zara. "Increase our monitoring. Perhaps we can contain this incident. Containment may no longer be possible, Varix argued. The humans are too curious, too aggressive. Once they know we exist, they won't stop searching. Back aboard the USS Endeavour, Lisa made another discovery. The warning signals were just the beginning. Hidden within the transmissions were fragments of something else. Text that didn't belong, like someone had left notes in the margins of a book. "Commander, look at this," she called Jake over. "There are hidden messages within the warnings. Different encryption, different language patterns." Jake read the translated text. "To those who come after, we were not always watchers. Once, we were like you, curious, ambitious, dangerous. We learned too late. Protect them from themselves. Protect the galaxy from them." "What does that mean?" Jake asked. "I don't know, sir, but there's more. Names of star systems, dates that go back thousands of years, and something else." Lisa pulled up another file. It was a star chart showing human space, but from thousands of years ago. Colonies marked throughout the local arm of the galaxy. All abandoned, all silent. "Humans were here before," Lisa whispered. Jake felt the universe shift beneath his feet. Everything they thought they knew about human history was wrong. "Sir," the communications officer called out, "we're receiving a new transmission. It's not automated. Someone's talking to us directly." Jake walked to the comm station. "Put it through." A voice filled the bridge. Not human, but speaking perfect English. "USS Endeavour, this is Station Watch 7. You have violated Galactic Protocol. Return to your system immediately." Jake grabbed the microphone. "This is Commander Morrison. Who am I speaking to?" A pause. Then, "Someone who's been watching over you. For a very long time. Go home, Commander, for your own safety. And for the safety of everyone else." The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. Jake looked at his crew. Good people. Brave people. People who had signed up to explore the unknown. They had found it, but it wasn't what they expected. "Set course for Earth," Jake ordered, "but keep monitoring all channels. Something tells me our journey home won't be quiet." As the Endeavour turned toward home, unknown to them, across the galaxy, preparations began. The age of human isolation was ending. The question remained, would humanity step into the galactic community, or would the galaxy have to step in first? The sleepers were waking, and the universe would never be the same. General Varix slammed his fist on the war table. The sound echoed through the command chamber like thunder. "Enough waiting," he roared to his gathered officers. "The humans grow stronger every day. We must act now." Captain Tharn, Varix's second in command, shifted uncomfortably. "Sir, the Council forbids contact." "The silence directive." "The Council is weak," Varix interrupted. "They fear shadows while the real threat grows. Look at these reports." He gestured to the holographic display showing Earth's rapid advancement. Nuclear fusion mastered in 50 years. Genetic engineering in 70. Quantum computing in a century. They're not like other primitive species. Tharn studied the data. "What do you propose, General?" "We make contact on our terms, controlled, measured. We show them the galaxy exists, but also that we control it." Varix's eyes gleamed. "Ready the scout ship. I want you to lead the mission." "Sir, if the Council discovers..." "The Council will thank us when humans are properly integrated under our guidance, not stumbling into things they don't understand." Meanwhile, on Earth, Lieutenant Colonel Sam Hughes watched the night sky from his command center in Colorado. The Joint Military Space Command tracked everything above Earth: satellites, debris, even shooting stars. His job was simple: keep Earth safe from threats we could see coming. "Colonel," his radar specialist called out, "you need to look at this." Sam walked over to the console. The screen showed a contact that shouldn't be there. Too big for a satellite, too fast for an asteroid, too controlled for space junk. "What's its heading?" Sam asked. "Straight for Earth, sir. But it's slowing down, like it wants to be seen." Sam grabbed the secure phone. "Get me the Pentagon. We have a situation." The alien scout ship dropped out of faster-than-light travel just beyond the moon. President Rebecca Taylor stood in the Situation Room, surrounded by advisors. Military brass filled half the room. Scientists filled the other half. "Talk to me, Admiral Carson," she said to the Navy's top space officer. "Madam President, the object is approximately a kilometer long. No known propulsion signature. It appeared out of nowhere 12 minutes ago." Dr. Amy Wu, the civilian science advisor, stepped forward. "Madam President, the energy readings are unlike anything we've seen. This isn't human technology." Before anyone could respond, every screen in the room lit up with the same message. "Greetings, humans. Your isolation period is over." The room fell silent. 50 years of wondering if we were alone, and the answer just spoke to them. "Open a channel," President Taylor ordered. "This is President Taylor of Earth. Who am I speaking with?" "I am Captain Tharn of the Galactic Reconnaissance Fleet. We come with an offer of membership in the galactic community." The humans exchanged glances. First contact scenarios had been planned for decades, but never like this. "We're listening," Taylor responded. "Your species has reached sufficient development. We offer knowledge, technology, and protection in exchange for joining our confederation." Dr. Wu whispered to the president, "This sounds too good to be true." Taylor nodded slightly. "We appreciate your offer, Captain Tharn, but humanity needs time to discuss this internally." "Time is a luxury your species no longer has," Tharn replied. "Others know of your existence now. Join us willingly, or face less pleasant options, Captain." Ben Miller, Earth's newly appointed first contact specialist, didn't like the sound of that. His military training screamed warning. "Captain Tharn, are you threatening us?" "I am offering protection," Tharn corrected. "The galaxy has many species. Not all are as generous as we are." Meanwhile, back at Varix's base, the general watched the conversation through his own monitors. Everything was going according to plan. "Sir," his intelligence officer reported, "the Council has detected our transmission to Earth. Let them. By Yao, the time they react, the humans will be under our protection. The Council will have to accept the new reality." On Earth, the debate raged through the night. Military leaders wanted to treat the aliens as potential threats. Scientists wanted to learn everything they could. Politicians worried about losing sovereignty. "We have no idea who these beings are," Army General Pete Carson argued. "They could be conquerors using smooth words. But what if they're genuine?" Dr. Wu countered. "The technology they could share might solve every problem we face." President Taylor listened to both sides. Years of leadership had taught her to trust her instincts. Something felt wrong. "Captain Miller," she said. "What's your assessment, Ben?" Miller had spent 20 years in intelligence. "Madam President, they know too much about us for this to be first contact. And their timing seems convenient, right after our discovery of those warning signals. I recommend caution." The next morning, President Taylor addressed the world. "My fellow humans, yesterday we learned we are not alone in the universe. We have been offered membership in a galactic confederation. While this represents humanity's greatest opportunity, we must proceed carefully. We will not rush into decisions that affect our entire species." Captain Tharn's response came swiftly. "Delay helps no one, President Taylor. We will remain in your system while you decide, but know that protection has its limits." Across space, emergency klaxons blared in the Galactic Council chambers. Admiral Zara faced the assembly. "The rogue contact has been confirmed," she announced. "General Varix has directly contacted Earth without authorization. The silence directive has been completely violated." "What are the humans' response?" asked the council elder. "They're suspicious," Zara replied. "Varix offered immediate integration, which aligns with our worst fears." "And what of our fleet?" asked another council member. "We have 3 containment fleets within 3 light years of Earth. But if we move now, it could be seen as an act of war." The elder's ancient eyes narrowed. "Varix has forced our hand. If the humans discover the full truth before proper preparation, we risk repeating history." Back on Earth, the USS Endeavour finally returned home. Commander Jake Morrison briefed the Joint Chiefs on their discovery of the warning beacons. "Sir," he told Admiral Carson, "those signals have been transmitting for centuries. Someone's been watching us for a very long time. This Captain Tharn isn't bringing us into the galactic community. We were already known." Admiral Carson shared this information with the President's team. The picture grew darker. "They were hiding us from the galaxy or hiding the galaxy from us," Dr. Wu reasoned. "Now this faction is breaking that protocol. The question is why?" Captain Miller pulled up star charts on his tablet. "What if they're not the good guys? What if the warning signals were protection, and these aliens are the threat the warnings were about?" President Taylor made her decision. "We need more information. Captain Miller, can we communicate with whoever sent those warning signals?" "We're trying, Madam President. But if Captain Tharn's people could detect those transmissions, they can probably intercept ours too. Try anyway. And Admiral Carson, put our defenses on high alert. Something tells me we're about to find out why humanity was kept secret." Above Earth, Captain Tharn waited for humanity's answer. According to his orders from General Varix, patience had limits. If the humans didn't accept protection soon, they would need to understand what happened to species who refused galactic authority. The countdown had begun, though Earth didn't know it yet. First contact hadn't brought the dawn of a new age. It had brought the end of humanity's childhood and the beginning of something much more dangerous. The universe was watching to see how humans would respond when threatened. Would they bow? Would they fight? Or would they uncover the truth that had been hidden for so long? The answer would determine not just Earth's fate, but the balance of power in a galaxy that had been stable for millennia. And in command centers, across human space, military leaders prepared for the possibility that first contact might also be first war. Kate Jung stared at her computer screens until her eyes burned. The brilliant programmer had built her career breaking into systems that were supposedly unhackable. But this alien network was unlike anything she had faced. "Got another trace," her partner Billy Thompson called from across their basement lab. "They're trying to hide it, but there's massive data traffic between Tharn's ship and something deep in space." Kate cracked her knuckles. "Then let's follow it." The government had hired their team after Captain Tharn's arrival. While diplomats talked, hackers worked. If aliens could contact Earth, Kate reasoned, humans could contact back. More importantly, they could eavesdrop. "There," Kate pointed at a stream of data. "They're using quantum encryption, but they made one mistake. They converted human communication protocols. That's our way in." Billy pulled up a chair. "How long?" "Give me 6 hours." She got it done in 4. The alien network opened before them, like a vast library. Files, communications, star charts, and more data than Kate had ever seen. But what caught her attention were files marked with human designations. "Oh my God," she whispered. "Look at this." The first file was labeled Earth. Observation log. Year 12,047. Kate opened it with shaking hands. Species, human. Classification, dormant, monitor. Current status, emerging technological capability. Threat assessment, extreme. Historical notes, C-file, first Scourge incident. "What's the first Scourge incident?" Billy asked. Kate clicked the file. Her face went pale as she read. "Billy, we need to call this in. Right now." An hour later, General Frank Stone stood in a secret military facility reading a printout Kate had prepared. With him were the President's top advisors and Captain Ben Miller from First Contact Command. "Are you telling me," General Stone said, slowly, "that humans already conquered half the galaxy once before?" "According to these files, yes, sir," Kate replied. "Around 10,000 years ago, an earlier human civilization spread across hundreds of star systems. They enslaved species, strip-mined entire planets, nearly destroyed galactic society." Dr. Amy Wu interrupted. "That's impossible. Our archaeological record shows humans were barely using agriculture 10,000 years ago." "These files suggest humans developed in cycles," Kate continued. "Rise, dominate, disappear. This is at least the 3rd cycle. The previous civilizations left Earth each time, leaving only primitive communities behind. Captain Miller leaned forward. And what happened to the previous civilizations? That's where it gets interesting, Billy chimed in. They didn't get defeated. They left. Voluntarily. The files say they transcended physical existence when whatever that means. General Stone slammed his fist on the table. So these aliens, Captain Tharn's people, weren't trying to welcome us to the galaxy, Kate finished. They were trying to control us before we reached full development again. Humanity wasn't quarantined for our protection. The galaxy was protected from us. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. How much of this can we confirm? President Taylor asked when General Stone briefed her an hour later. We've verified the basic facts, Captain Miller reported. Our archaeological teams have known for years about advanced anomalies that didn't fit human development timelines. We thought they were errors. Turns out they were clues. Madam President, General Stone added, these files also contain technical data. Ship designs, weapons, technologies that make Captain Tharn's offer look primitive by comparison. Are you suggesting we were more advanced than these aliens who are welcoming us to the galaxy? Exactly, ma'am. And I think some people out there are worried we might remember that. Meanwhile, aboard Captain Tharn's ship, alarms blared. The humans had accessed the network. General Varix, Tharn reported through secure channels. The humans have hacked our systems. They know about the first scourge. Silence on the other end. Then, accelerate the timeline. If they've seen those files, they'll understand the threat they pose. Use it to convince them to accept guidance. And if they refuse, then they're too dangerous to leave uncontrolled. On Earth, Dr. Chris Patel, an anthropologist, made another discovery. While the programmers had accessed alien networks, her team had been studying the human data more carefully. General Stone, we found something in the human genetic records, she reported. Dormant DNA sequences that shouldn't be there, like genetic off switches, meaning someone programmed humanity to forget, to start over. But these sequences can be reactivated. What would that do? We don't know. But if past humans had advanced technology and abilities, those traits might be dormant in modern humans. General Stone called an emergency meeting with world military leaders. Gentlemen and ladies, we're not just facing first contact, we're facing the return of human capabilities that have been dormant for millennia. Captain Tharn's people didn't want to uplift us. They wanted to ensure we stayed down. What's our response, General? Asked Admiral Pete Carson. We prepare for war, but we also explore our own potential. Dr. Patel's team will investigate these genetic triggers. Kate Zhang's people will extract every bit of technology from the alien network, and we'll present a united front to Captain Tharn. Above Earth, Captain Tharn received new orders from the Galactic Council. Admiral Zara had finally moved to contain Varix's rogue operation. Captain Tharn, Admiral Zara transmitted, you are ordered to withdraw. The containment fleet will arrive in 72 hours. I'm sorry, Admiral, Tharn replied, but I answer to General Varix now. The humans are too dangerous to abandon. Zara's heart sank. Civil war among the galactic powers. With humans at the center, on Earth, President Taylor addressed her military leaders. We've learned more about ourselves in the past week than in the past century. It seems humanity has amnesia, and some very powerful beings want to keep it that way. So what do we do, Madam President? Asked General Stone. We wake up, she replied grimly. Dr. Patel, are those genetic sequences safe to activate? Unknown, ma'am. The process appears to be gradual, triggered by environmental and psychological factors. Then we deal with the aliens as we are, but prepare to become what we were meant to be. Kate Zhang, still in her basement lab, made one final discovery that night. Hidden deep in the alien files was a message, coded for human eyes only. To our descendants, we left you this path. When the time comes, remember who you are. The galaxy fears what we became. Show them what we chose to become instead. You are not the scourge. You are humanity's true children. Wake up, but wake up wise. She stared at the screen. Someone had planned this. Someone had left clues. "Billy," she called. "I think our ancestors left us a message. I think they wanted us to find this." As the sun rose over Earth, tensions mounted. Captain Tharn's deadline approached. The Galactic Council's containment fleet closed in, and across the planet, humans began to realize that their entire history was a carefully constructed lie. The amnesia was fading. And when humanity fully awakened, neither Earth nor the galaxy would ever be the same. The question remained: would humanity repeat its past, or forge a new path? The answer would come soon enough, as thunder gathered on the horizon and the entire cosmic order prepared for change. The containment fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel in Earth's outer system. 50 massive warships, each the size of a city, positioned themselves in a blockade formation. Admiral Krex commanded from the flagship Eternal Vigilance. "Broadcast. The demand," he ordered. President Rebecca Taylor was in the White House Situation Room when the message came through. "People of Earth, this is Admiral Krex of the Galactic Council. Your contact with rogue elements has destabilized galactic protocols. Stand down all military forces. Prepare for processing and relocation to a supervised system. You have 6 hours to comply." The room exploded in voices. "Processing? Relocation?" General Mike Ryan slammed his fist down. "They're talking about enslaving us." "Not on my watch," President Taylor said coldly. "General Ryan, initiate Protocol Phoenix." Protocol Phoenix was Earth's emergency war plan. Developed in secret after Captain Tharn's arrival, it assumed one thing: that first contact might mean first war. Across Earth, military bases activated. The orbital defense grid upgraded. With reverse-engineered alien technology powered up, Colonel Sarah Jenkins commanded the new human fleet from the lunar facility. "All ships, this is Jenkins. Assume battle stations. We're not leaving our home." Captain Tim Brooks, leading the orbital defense platform above Earth, coordinated with ground forces. "Defensive positions active. Let's show them what Earth can do." Admiral Krex watched human military deployment with surprise. "They're preparing to fight. Fascinating. Most species surrender at this point," his tactical officer added. "Sir, their weapon systems are more advanced than projected. That's not human technology." "Noted. Maintain blockade. If they fire first, end this quickly." President Taylor opened a channel to both fleets, Tharn's and Krex's. "This is President Taylor of Earth. We will not surrender our world or our people. We claim our right to exist as a free species." "You don't understand," Admiral Krex replied. "Your species has a history of galactic destabilization. We're protecting everyone, including you." "Including us? By forcibly relocating us?" "No, thank you." Before anyone could respond, space lit up with weapons fire. But it wasn't humans who fired first. Captain Tharn's ship opened fire on the containment fleet. "Varix was right," Tharn broadcasted. "The Council wants to eliminate humanity before they reach full potential. Humans, fight with us." "It's a trap," Colonel Jenkins shouted. "Both fleets planned this. Classic divide and conquer." The battle began in earnest. Alien ships traded fire while Earth's forces watched. Then, without warning, an alien ship exploded in a way no one expected, not from external fire but from within. Dr. Chris Patel, monitoring human genetic responses during the crisis, noticed something extraordinary. Stress levels are triggering the dormant sequences. People are changing. Across Earth, humans experienced something unprecedented. Engineers Danny Cooper and Dr. Karen Hayes, working on alien technology, suddenly understood it perfectly. Military strategists saw tactical possibilities they'd never imagined. Scientists comprehended physics beyond human knowledge. "Sir," Captain Brooks reported to General Ryan, "our people are evolving. They're operating systems at levels that should be impossible." "What do you mean?" Lieutenant Williams just calculated FTL coordinates in his head. Sergeant Davis repaired an alien system by touch. "It's like we're becoming what we were meant to be." The battle in space intensified. Ships from both alien fleets began defecting, revealing a complex political situation. Some aliens had been waiting for humanity to awaken, hoping for allies against Council control. Admiral Krex, a defecting captain, transmitted, "My species has suffered under Council protocols for centuries. We stand with Earth." "Traitors," Krex roared. "Destroy them all." But the battle turned strange. Human ships operated by rapidly evolving crews began outmaneuvering veteran alien fleets. Captain Alex Turner, commanding Earth's newest warship, found herself understanding alien battle tactics instinctively. Fire at their shield generators. Not the main guns, the auxiliary power systems. Her crew executed maneuvers that should have been impossible for human-built ships. On Earth, Dr. Beth Rivers made the discovery she'd been searching for. In an ancient cave system hidden beneath layers of purposely collapsed rock, she found it. Evidence of previous human civilization's warning system. "They left this for us," she breathed. "Instructions. Technology. Everything we need to break the cycle." She transmitted her findings to the Space Forces. "All units," General Ryan broadcasted. "Dr. Rivers has found our ancestors' blueprint. We're not just fighting for survival, we're reclaiming our birthright." The tide of battle shifted, decisively. Human technology combined with awakened human intuition proved overwhelming. Ships that moments before struggled against alien vessels now danced between them like predators among prey. Admiral Bruce Williams coordinated the final assault. "Target their command ships. Cut off their communication." General Mary Chen led the ground-based quantum weapons array. "Orbital defenses redirect all power to the planet killers. Let's make a statement." But the awakening brought clarity as well as power. Captain Miller, now leading combined human and rebel alien forces, made a broadcast to all combatants. "All forces cease fire in 30 seconds. Admiral Krex, you've seen what humans can do. We don't want to be destroyers this time. We want to be builders. But we will defend ourselves." The firing stopped. Damaged alien ships drifted in space. Human ships, somehow largely intact despite the overwhelming odds, held position. Admiral Krex, his fleet depleted and support gone, finally responded. "How? You were primitives weeks ago." "We were never primitives," President Taylor replied calmly. "We were sleeping, and you helped us wake up." Some would call that ironic. The Galactic Council themselves contacted Earth directly. The Elder's voice resonated across all channels. "Humans of Earth, you have proven your capabilities. But the question remains, will you repeat the mistakes of your ancestors?" President Taylor looked around the Situation Room at her staff. Military, leaders, scientists, philosophers, all evolving beyond their previous limitations. "We've learned from our past," she replied. "We remember the scourge we were, and we choose to be something different. We offer alliance, not domination. Understanding, not control. And how do we trust this? The same way we're choosing to trust you, despite being hunted like animals for centuries. We've awakened, but we've also grown. Let's see if the galaxy has grown too." The silence stretched across space. Then the Elder spoke again. "The silence directive is ended. Humanity takes its place among the stars, not as conquerors or subjects, but as equals. Let this day mark a new age." Admiral Krex and the remains of his fleet stood down. Captain Tharn, his gambit failed, surrendered to human forces. Above Earth, human and alien ships began the complex task of rebuilding. Below, a species that had awakened to its true potential faced a choice. What kind of galactic citizens would they become? The war was over. The real challenge was just beginning. 6 months after the battle, Earth hummed with change. The genetic awakening that began during the crisis had continued, but in ways no one expected. In Detroit, engineer Danny Cooper stood before a machine that shouldn't exist. He had built it, without blueprints, guided purely by instinct. The device converted matter to energy with perfect efficiency. "How did you know to do this?" his colleague asked. Danny shrugged. "I didn't know. I just understood. Like remembering something I'd forgotten." Similar stories emerged worldwide. Dr. Karen Hayes in Switzerland developed a medical device that regenerated lost limbs. Factory workers in China designed ships that moved beyond light speed without the physics-defying technology aliens used. Artists created works that affected viewers on a quantum level. President Taylor called it the remembrance in her address to the nation. "We are not becoming something new," she explained. "We are becoming what we once were, but with the wisdom we've gained from forgetting." The new Galactic Accord was negotiated in Earth's first space station, a massive structure humans built in weeks, combining remembered technology with modern human ingenuity. Ambassador John Foster led Earth's diplomatic team. Across from him sat representatives from hundreds of species, many who had spent generations in hiding from Council authority. "The question before us is simple," John began. "Do we continue the old systems of control and fear, or do we build something new?" Ambassador Krell, the former aide to Admiral Zara, responded, "Humans proved their strength in battle, but strength isn't enough for galactic stability." "That's where you're wrong," diplomat Nancy Lee interjected. "Humanity learned something unique during our amnesia period: how to be powerful without being destructive. We had to survive without galactic technology, without knowing our true heritage. We developed differently." The negotiations continued for months. Humans offered to share their regained technologies freely, something unprecedented in galactic politics. "This is the difference between the first scourge and modern humanity," John Foster explained to the assembled delegates. "Our ancestors took, we choose to give." The evidence spoke for itself. Human-designed medical technology began appearing throughout the galaxy. Human engineers worked alongside alien builders, creating wonders neither could achieve alone. Meanwhile, on Galactic Council worlds, major changes occurred. Species that had suffered under strict Council protocols found unexpected allies in awakened humans. Admiral Bruce Williams commanded the first mixed-species fleet, combining human and alien technologies in ways previously thought impossible. "It's remarkable," his Cordian tactical officer observed. "Human intuition combined with our computational ability creates strategies neither species could develop independently." "That's what cooperation does," Williams replied. "It makes all parties stronger than the sum of their parts." On Earth, young Ethan Clark represented the first generation born after the awakening. At age 8, he already solved mathematical equations that had baffled professional scientists. More importantly, he understood them. "The equations aren't hard," Ethan explained to his teacher. "They just need to be thought about differently. Numbers have patterns if you listen." Children across Earth displayed similar abilities. Not all were mathematical geniuses, but all showed enhanced capacity for learning and integration. The difference was they grew up knowing who they were, without the amnesia that had affected their parents. 2 years after the awakening, Earth received a delegation from the surviving First Fleet, humans who had colonized beyond Earth during previous cycles. They had been hiding in deep space, waiting for their homeworld to remember. Commander Janet Wells led the reunion team. "We never forgot," she told President Taylor. "We've been watching Earth for millennia, waiting for this moment." "Why didn't you help us sooner?" Taylor asked. "Because forgetting was part of the plan. Our ancestors designed the amnesia cycles to give humanity time to develop wisdom. Force-feeding knowledge creates tyrants. Growing into it creates leaders. That's why reintegration brought incredible advancement. The First Fleet humans had developed technologies based on completely different principles. Combined with rediscovered ancient knowledge and new innovations, humanity leaped centuries ahead in months, but the most significant change was cultural. General Mary Chen, now leading the Terran Space Guard, established principles that governed human expansion. We explore with respect. We share what we learn. We never impose our way on others. These principles weren't just words. When humans discovered a primitive species struggling with climate change, they shared solutions freely. When pirates threatened trade routes, human ships protected all vessels regardless of origin. When the Galactic Council's rigid hierarchies crumbled, humans helped build more egalitarian systems. Ambassador Nancy Lee addressed the galaxy during the first anniversary of the new accord. "The universe gave us a second chance. Our ancestors chose power over wisdom, conquest over cooperation. We choose differently. The transformation wasn't without challenges. Some humans struggled with their awakened abilities. Others missed the simplicity of not knowing. A small group even advocated for returning to isolation. But the momentum was clear. Human technology centers welcomed alien students. Alien worlds hosted human cultural exchanges. The rigid barriers that had separated species for millennia dissolved. Dr. Amy Wu, now leading the Interspecies Science Consortium, made a discovery that redefined galactic history. The amnesia protocols weren't just for humanity. Many species have similar controls. We weren't the only dangerous ones who were managed by limiting their development. This revelation changed everything. The Galactic Council's authority had been based on protecting advanced species from primitive ones. If multiple species had been artificially limited, the entire galactic power structure needed reevaluation. Captain Alex Turner, commanding the exploration vessel New Discovery, led efforts to find other sleeping species. If we were prevented from reaching our potential, how many others were too? The discoveries came quickly. Species considered primitive by the old council showed signs of suppressed advanced capabilities. Some had genetic locks similar to humanity's. Others had been subjected to technological suppressors disguised as protective measures. The revelations destabilized the old order, but created opportunities for something better. 3 years after the awakening, young Ethan Clarke and his generation joined alien peers in the galaxy's first truly integrated educational system. No species was held back. No knowledge was restricted. In the classroom, Ethan worked alongside Nix, a Cordian child whose species had been protected from developing quantum mathematics. Together, they solved problems neither species could address alone. It's like music. Nix explained through translation. Human thinking is melody. Cordian thinking is harmony. Together, we make something new. Their teacher, a being whose species had served as council overseers for centuries, nodded approvingly. This is what was feared. Not individual species becoming powerful, but species learning to truly cooperate. The fear had been justified but misunderstood. The old system feared change. The new system embraced it. President Taylor, in her final EO address before stepping down, summarized the transformation. We learned that isolation breeds fear, but interaction breeds understanding. Power shared is power multiplied. The galaxy doesn't need guardians or rulers, it needs partners. The ceremony marking humanity's full integration into the Galactic Accord took place on Earth. Representatives from thousands of species gathered. Children from different worlds played together, inventing new games that combined their unique perspectives. Admiral Bruce Williams, watching the celebration, turned to his mixed-species crew. 5 years ago, we were alone, hiding behind barriers we didn't even know existed. Today, his tactical officer, the Cordian who had fought alongside humans in the Great Battle, finished the thought. Today, we stand together. Not as separate species, but as one galactic community. As fireworks lit Earth's sky, pyrotechnics designed by human and alien engineers together, the transformation was complete. Humanity had awakened not just to its own potential, but to the potential of true cooperation among all conscious beings. Sleepers had awakened. The Watchers had become partners. The galaxy had found a new way forward. In deep space, ancient artifacts left by previous civilizations remained silent. Some predicted even greater challenges ahead. But for the first time in galactic history, multiple species faced the future together, combining their strengths while acknowledging their differences. The universe had one rule: don't disturb the humans. They broke it, and in breaking it, they broke the old order entirely. What emerged was something better. Not human dominance or alien control, but partnership across the stars. The new age had begun, and every species would help write its story